Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
It's almost the end of 2022, and we need to take a moment to pay homage to one of the best Disney songs ever created. So let's go back in time. Why? Because we can. When? To 30 years ago, 1992. If you were around in 1992, you might remember some of the following. The 25th Olympic Games opened in Barcelona that year. Bill Clinton was elected as the 42nd U.S. president. America voted for either a young Elvis Presley or older Elvis Presley to be used on a postage stamp. Spoiler alert for anyone who didn't know, young Elvis won. 4 officers were acquitted in Los Angeles in the beating of Rodney King, and this led to the violent riots that occurred in Los Angeles. And if we think about music during 1992, we arrived at the end of the road, Baby Had Back, we did a little jump jump, and we saved the best for last. Continuing on this musical note, this video is to pay homage to the Disney song A Whole New World, the version sung by Peabo Bryson and Regina Belle. That's the only version we recognize. For anyone who needs the reminder, this ballad was from the 1992 Disney movie Aladdin.
It is Aladdin. It's the story of this boy, this diamond in the rough, who falls in love with his princess and goes through this adventure.
Aladdin may not be one of my Disney favorites, but you certainly can't resist the song A Whole New World. And this is definitely one of Disney's most iconic songs, quite possibly my favorite Disney song. The light-hearted Under the Sea is quite the contender as well. But back to A Whole New World, 90s Disney and Peabo Bryson. It was a 3-hit knockout combo. In 1991, Celine Dion and Peabo Bryson sang the ballad Beauty and the Beast for the Disney movie of the same name.
Give her a surprise.
The song A Whole New World is from the 1992 Disney movie Aladdin. The song was a #1 Billboard chart song for 1 week the following year in 1993. Peabo Bryson and Regina Belle brought viewers on the magic carpet in this compelling and beautiful love song. Commercially, A Whole New World proved an even greater success than Beauty and the Beast, hitting #1 on the pop charts and thereby ending Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You record-setting 14 weeks at the top. Can you imagine having the song that ended Whitney's run 14 weeks at the top for her song I Will Always Love You? Granted, A Whole New World was only #1 for 1 week, but still, impressive. Aladdin Original Motion Picture Soundtrack is a soundtrack for the 1992 Disney animated feature film Aladdin. The album was released by Walt Disney Records on CD and cassette tape on November 10th, 1992. So literally 30 years ago. The music on this album earned composer Alan Menken the Academy Award for Best Original Score and the Golden Globe Award for Best Original Score, as well as a nomination for the BAFTA Award for Best Film Music. Menken, along with lyricist Tim Rice, also won the Academy Award for Best Original Song.
We're here to present the Oscar for Original Song. The nominees are...
From the Mambo Kings, Beautiful Maria of My Soul, music by Robert Kraft, lyric by Arnie Glimcher. From Aladdin, Friends Like Me, music by Alan Menken, lyric by Howard Ashman. From The Bodyguard, I Have Nothing, music by David Foster, lyric by Linda Thompson. From The Bodyguard, Run to You, music by Judd Friedman, lyric by Alan Rich. From Aladdin, A Whole New World, music by Alan Menken, lyric by Tim Rice.
And the Oscar for Original Song goes to Alan Menken and Tim Rice for A Whole New World from Aladdin.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank everybody in the Academy who voted for me, especially Alan. And I'd like to pay tribute to two great lyricists. One, of course, is Howard Ashman. I'm extremely lucky to be standing in his shoes. I know he'd be here today if he was still alive. And the other is the great Sami Khan, who was my inspiration for many years. And it's great to be working with Alan, and my thanks to everybody at Disney.
A couple thanks to Leah Salonga and Brad Kane, and thanks to Peabo Bryson and Regina Belle, and of course Walter Afanasieff and Robbie Buchanan for creating a beautiful record. And thank you, Chris Montan, for never giving up on this song. Thank you.
The Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song, and a Grammy Award for Song of the Year for the song A Whole New World. It is currently the first and only Disney song to win Song of the Year at the Grammy Awards. The album is one of the best-selling soundtrack albums to an animated film, with 3 million copies sold in the United States and 300,000 copies sold in Canada. So enough about the soundtrack, let's talk about the song specifically. A Whole New World is a signature song from Disney's 1992 animated feature film Aladdin, with music by Alan Menken and lyrics by Tim Rice. A duet originally recorded by singers Brad Kane and Leah Salonga in their respective roles as the singing voices of the main characters Aladdin and Jasmine. The ballad serves as both the film's love and theme song. Lyrically, A Whole New World describes Aladdin showing the confined princess a life of freedom, and the pair's acknowledgement of their love for each other while riding on a magic carpet. A Whole New World also won the Grammy Award for Song of the Year and Best Song Written specifically for a motion picture or for television at the 36th Annual Grammy Awards, becoming the first and so far only Disney song to win in the former category. In the same year, the version sung by Peabo Bryson and Regina Belle was also nominated for Record of the Year and Best Pop Performance by a Duo or Group, with vocals winning the latter. Let's talk a little bit more specifically about Peabo Bryson and Regina Belle's version. A single version of the song was released that same year and was performed by American recording artists Peabo Bryson and Regina Belle. This version is played over the film's end credits and is referred on the soundtrack as Aladdin's theme. The version peaked at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart for a week ending on March 6, 1993, replacing Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, which had spent a then record 14 weeks at the top of the charts. It went gold and sold 600,000 copies domestically. The track peaked at number 12 in the UK singles chart in 1993. The song is the first song from a Disney animated film to top the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. It was the only Disney song to achieve this feat until We Don't Talk About Bruno from Encanto reached the summit in 2022. The single version was later included on Belle's studio album Passion in 1993 and on Bryson's studio album Through the Fire in 1994. When it was time for Disney to release as a single, the studio was reportedly thinking of some very big names, as Rice tells Bronson. They were trying to get people like Barbra Streisand and George Michael. I was so glad in the end none of these people wanted to do it, because we got two singers who were quite wonderful and who weren't automatic number ones. Imagine if it was Barbra Streisand and George Michael, you'd say yes, it was number 1 because it was them. Instead of Streisand and Michael, Disney went back to having Peabo Bryson, and for the female singer, got a singer who, like Bryson, was a smooth R&B singer that wasn't much of a big hit maker until she got involved with Disney. The song A Whole New World was certainly not the first and last song performed by Peabo Bryson and Regina Belle together. They had a number of other duets, 3 others actually: Without You in 1987, I Can't Imagine in 1991, of course A Whole New World in 1992, and then Total Praise in 2009.
And I'm approached by Don Eisner, and he asked me if I would be interested in doing a Disney tune. Well, this coming right off of the success of Beauty and the Beast with Peabo Bryson and Celine Dion. So I'm thinking to myself, of course, I mean, I'd be stupid not to. So they asked me who I'd like to do the duet with. I said, well, Beauty and the Beast was fabulous, fantastic, and it won a Grammy. So if it's not broke, why fix it? So I said, people will be just fine. Thank you. So my song wins not 1, not 2, but 4 Grammys, as well as an Oscar.
The success of A Whole New World and Aladdin did not lead to more hits for both Peabo Bryson and Regina Belle. Their immediate follow-ups did not set the world on fire, with Bryson's Kenny G collaboration By the Time the Night is Over peaking at number 25, and Belle's If I Could peaking at number 53. Bryson and Belle haven't made the Hot 100 since, but still perform despite the setbacks. But when Belle turned to recording gospel music, she suffered a major blow by being diagnosed with a brain tumor. Belle says the experience first made her question her faith, but eventually made that faith stronger. Belle had a brain tumor in 2009, and while it was successfully removed, she is now deaf in one ear.
If you don't mind, would you share the illness and how you got through it?
At first, not good. I sucked. I failed horribly.
Really?
You know, you don't get news that you have a brain tumor, and you know there's a chance you might not make it. You know, you got to go to emergency surgery. You know, I'm a leader of 14 people, and now I can't, coming out of surgery, I can't even walk by myself. Can't put on my clothes by myself. I can't feed myself. And then I don't even care to sing because I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. That's a place of extreme humility, and a place of, for some of us, it could be a place of no return. Simply because you don't know what tomorrow holds. Right. And I believe that even though I couldn't put my finger on it, my faith was bigger than what I was seeing, even though I had doubts. And let's just be honest about it, because who wouldn't? Ultimately, I'm a fighter, and I would not quit.
As for Bryson, he had his Atlanta property seized by the IRS in 2003, including the 2 Grammys he won for Beauty and the Beast and A Whole New World. Like Belle, Bryson also had a life-threatening health episode when he suffered a heart attack in 2019, but has reportedly made a full recovery.
What's it like just knowing that you've put so many smiles on people's faces over the years, and kids and families watching Disney films?
You know, it's a humbling experience. I mean, it's something that you could be grateful for every single day, and it never really gets old. Yeah. And Disney songs, those songs will last forever.
Yeah. Forever.
Forever. They always have, and they always will be. And the great thing about Disney is they kind of like resurface every 18 months or 2 years or so. So it introduces that music to a new generation of children, and it's self-perpetuating in that regard. So there's nothing quite like Disney in that regard. Yeah. So you kind of stay current and stay in the conversation and not really having to do anything new.
And that's our story of the classic song A Whole New World, Aladdin's theme, sang by Peabo Bryson and Regina Belle from the Aladdin soundtrack that was released in 1992 and which reached the #1 spot on the Billboard Top 100 in 1993.